So this is the latest Poco X7 Pro. Let's talk about it. First thing first, let's see what's in the box. Obviously, I've already taken the X7 Pro out of the box, as you can see there. So inside of this package, you get a SIM ejector tool. So you don't want to lose that. That allows you to get inside your SIM card tray. And there's also some booklets here as well, like a quick start guide, warranty information, the usual booklet stuff you get inside your phone packaging. And there's also a silicone case as well. This is interesting because this is actually sort of matching the rest of the device. So this is like a black, sort of gray, sort of charcoal color that you can use on your smartphone. So it goes on the phone. Let me just place that on here. Nicely done. Nice and fitted, as you can see there. It's really smart, actually. They've done a good job there. We'll come back to that in a second. And then underneath that, we get some charging stuff. So this is a 90 watt charging brick, so fast charge. It's available to us here with a full USB-A port on the back there. Elsewhere, we get a USB cable for charging and data transfer. So this is a USB-A to USB-C cable that you also get in the packaging. So back to the device, I'm just going to take off this silicone case for now. You see the back of it. So this is a plastic back and it attracts a lot of fingerprint as well that you'd have to keep wiping it. It's got this shiny material, reflective material, which I'm not particularly a massive fan of. On the back there, you see those two big camera array. So you do get a 50 megapixel camera and also another 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. On the bottom of the device, we get a USB-C port, SIM card tray, speaker grills there as well, and microphone. And then up top, we get IR blaster and also microphone and speaker as well, so available right up top. And then we look on the right side of the device. This is where we'll see our power button, and the volume rocker is also available there. This is a flat edge, so it has flat edge all around it, so this would balance on a table, for example, easily with no issues at all. On the front, up top, is a 20 megapixel front-facing camera. We'll come back to more information on the camera shortly. More on the design. So up front, we have a 6.67-inch 1.5K AMOLED display with up to 120 Hz refresh. For touch sampling, we're looking at 2,560 Hz touch sampling rate, especially in game turbo mode. And this is 12-bit color depth. So it's very colorful, very vibrant. This weighs just 195 grams, and it's just really nice and just lightweight. It just feels like nothing in hand. It's not weighty at all. It comes in black, green, or yellow, as mentioned at the start. And in terms of the brightness, we're talking 3,500 nits peak brightness. Poco also say there's 1.5K AI super resolution currently, but that can only be supported when playing games like Genshin Impact. For PWM dimming, we're looking at 1,920 Hz, and it has a Corning Gorilla Glass 7i. I don't know too much detail about that Corning Gorilla Glass version, so you might have to do your research in that area. But back to the camera on the back, we have that 50 megapixel main Sony IMX882 at f1.5 aperture, and the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera at f2.2. There's no telephoto here, sadly. And on the front, we're looking at a 20 megapixel front facing camera for your selfie photos. On performance, this is running on Dimensity 8400 Ultra, which is a 4 nanometer processor in terms of the process technology, and up to 3.25 gigahertz octa-core, all big core designs, and you have a Mali G720 GPU in there. It has up to 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is LPDDR5X, and up to 512 gigabytes of UFS 4.0 storage. It's also liquid cooled as well, so this stays just, nice and cool under pressure. In terms of battery, you're looking at 6,000 milliamp hour battery, and like I said at the start, like I showed you guys, it supports that 90 watt hypercharge. This is running IP OS 2, and also that's just a skin on top of Android 15. So quick look at the device itself. Things looks very fluid. Sometimes you get a bit of lag between when you open stuff and when it actually opens. For example, you can see how slow that camera app opens there. Again, Chrome was already open, but if I was to close Chrome app, for example, and reopen Chrome, you see that it takes just a tad bit of time to open up. There's a bit of a delay there. That's something I noticed after using it for a while. But other than that, though, I think it's still pretty much decent. It's not bad at all. And then when we look at some of the benchmark scores, for example, on Geekbench 6, we can see some of the benchmark scores that I run earlier. So if I go to history, we look at the CPU score. We're talking 1,583 for single core and 6,023 for multi-core scores. And then when we go back out and look at our GPU scores for both Vulkan, so Vulkan here is 12,131. And then when we go back out, we go to OpenCL, it's 10,868 in terms of the scores available to us here. Do with that what you will in terms of numbers, but in reality, it does perform well for graphics as well, which I'll show you guys when playing Call of Duty. And same story as well when we go to our PC Mark score. We can see 14,867 there, and you can see the way that it handles the temperature very well. The battery life is also retained as well, even with all that tests going on. So you rest assured you're going to be getting good battery life here. It's going to stay cool under pressure, and it's going to run all your important applications like gaming, just the day-to-day stuff. It's going to run them pretty much very well. Quick tour of the device. We can go into the settings menu. We go to About Phone as always, and we scroll down to detailed info and specs. You can see some of the specifications there, which you can take a screenshot if you want to see that yourself. We come back out completely. We go back into our display settings. But before we go that, because this is essentially a Xiaomi device, we do have that interconnectivity, which means this will talk to other Xiaomi devices on the market to be able to do things like move, copy and paste stuff across devices, and so on and so forth. Inside home screen settings, we can also update the animation speed. So this might kind of help with that slight lag between when you move in between apps and open apps and stuff like that. You might be able to change that animation speed. So for example, it's on relax. So you might have to have that on fast, so things looks a bit more, snappier than it would otherwise be. We go into display and brightness settings. As you can see there, you can adjust brightness as always. But when we go into our refresh rate, we can either have it on default as recommended by Poco, or we can have it in custom, so our refresh rate can be between 60 Hz and 120 Hz refresh if you wish to do so. You also have AI image engine, so you can have things like super resolution for videos, and you can also have AI HDR enhancement as well if you want to do that. With that MediaTek processor in there, it also means we have access to some of the cool AI features that we've seen on flagship devices or more expensive devices in the market. For example, we have AI with notes, so we can have AI summary for AI layouts and proofreading and so on, and translate. We have gallery, which allows us to do things like image expansion, AI erase pro, and AI film, for example. We have recorder, we have AI subtitles, and also AI interpreter, which means we'll be able to translate what someone's saying in real time on a phone call, for example. In addition to settings, we can scroll down to your memory extension. So we can go 4 GB, 6 GB, 8 GB, and option for 12 GB as well. For the gamers, there's also an app called Game Turbo that's built into the system, which allows you to start playing games. For example, add games on there, but you can go into settings and see some of the options available. So you can turn on the Game Turbo on to improve your gaming experience. We have gaming shortcuts as well. We have things like uninstalling games. But where it really matters though is your performance mode, which you should probably switch on as well, which allows you to do things like improve your Wi-Fi optimization, your touch controls are optimized as well. And then we can look at things like your memory exceptions and so on and so forth. You got gaming do not disturb, so that way nothing is going to interrupt your gaming experience as well. When gaming, you can drag from the top left as well, which means you can then do things like your performance setup. So you can see there, we can change the frame rate priority there, and you can enhance your touch controls, networking settings as well. And then you can see the frame rate as you're going as well, so real time. So this screen here on the game is 35 frames per second, but obviously when you start actually gaming and stuff, that will change accordingly as well. You can clear the memory as well to make it run a bit smoother. You can also do things like you do not disturb, record your gaming experience, change your voice, and have a timer on as well. So that's a pretty good option to have, and you just tap that to close and you can start gaming as you wish to do so. So as far as design goes, it's a good looking device. It's very minimal, in fact, and also this fingerprint situation is not something I really like about the device, which means I'll end up putting case on it, so I don't have to keep wiping the device over and over. Or if I was to buy one, I'd go for the vegan option, vegan leather option, which means there's less fingerprints all over the device that I need to wipe all the time. When it comes to things like performance, I think it works really well. It does a really good job when it comes to gaming, when it comes to the battery life as well, when it comes to how fluid it is. It's pretty good. It's got a bit of lag here and there, but it's not notable that it's going to affect your purchasing decision. I think it's pretty good overall. And when it comes to the camera capability as well, I think generally it looks good. When it comes to zoom, that's where you get issues here and there. I think where this really shines for me is that skin tone representation. So when I took a selfie with this, it represented or reproduced my skin color, the tone very well, and it's still pretty sharp as well. So that's something that's a bit of a bonus for this device. When it comes to things like your display, the display looks really good, nice and sharp, nice and vibrant as well. When watching movies, it looks really good. You can watch movies on this all day long with no issues. There's also tiny bezel as well, so it's near bezel-less, which is good. And in terms of durability, this is IP68 water and dust resistant rated, so you wouldn't have to worry about things like that. It's pretty durable. And you can also have your case, place it on there, and that will keep it nice and pristine for a long period of time. But I think overall for this device, it's a really good device. It's a shame it doesn't have a telephoto lens on there as well. But yeah, if that's something that's priority to you, then that's a compromise you'll have to make when purchasing this. But overall, Really decent device. But over to you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. I'll do my best to answer your questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.